So yesterday we have defined cyclotomic polynomials, and then we have seen that they are in fact monic polynomials over zx over z. So today we will see that these are irreducible as well, irreducible over z. And because zx is inert in qx, so irreducibility over z immediately gives you that the irreducibility over the rational field. So the nth cyclotomic polynomial is irreducible over q, the rational field. So as you know, because zx is inert in qx, so equivalently we will show that the phi n x is irreducible over z. This is because zx is inert in qx. So suppose it is reducible over z. So phi n x is reducible in zx. That is phi n x you can write maybe fx into gx, and so one thing, if it is irreducible, it will have certainly an irreducible factor. Is that fine?
Yes, sir.
If phi n x is reducible, so reducible means you can write phi n x as a product of two polynomials, right? Let's say fx is one polynomial. So again fx you can write it as product of irreducible polynomials. So the point is phi n x will have an irreducible factor over zx if it is reducible, right? So this would mean phi n x has, and because phi n x is a monic polynomial, that's what we have seen yesterday, so I can assume that a irreducible factor is monic. So phi n x has an irreducible monic factor, say fx, where in zx. Is that fine? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this would mean phi n x will be equal to fx into some gx for some gx in zx. All right. तो because phi n भी monic है, fx भी monic है, so gx will also be monic polynomial, right? Naturally. Okay. So now the point is fx is a factor of phi nx, right? And what are the roots of phi nx? What are the roots? Yes. Anyone? Phi nx के roots. Go to the definition of phi nx. Yes,
Primitive nth root of
that's
unity.
right. So the roots of phi nx are the primitive nth root of unity. Okay. So that means and phi fx is a factor of phi nx. That means uh, roots of fx are will also be primitive nth root of unity. Some of the primitive nth root of unity will be the roots of fx. So let's say tau be a primitive nth root of unity and is a root of fx. Tau be a primitive nth root of unity such that f tau is 0. Okay. So because fx is irreducible over z, where I have written, yeah, this one, irreducible factor fx. So fx is irreducible over z. It remains irreducible over q because zx is inherent in qx. So note that fx is irreducible over q as well. Okay. तो irreducible polynomial है rational field के ऊपर. It will be the MMP of tau. Is that fine? So this would mean fx will be the minimal monic polynomial. Monic तो पहले से ही है fx, right? Minimal monic polynomial of tau over q, the rational field. All right. So let's say p be any prime not dividing n. तो प्राइम है, n को डिवाइड नहीं करता तो n का relatively prime होगा. And yesterday we have seen if tau is primitive nth root of unity, then tau power I is also primitive nth root of unity if and only if GCD of I and n is 1. So GCD of, because p do not divides n, so GCD is p and n is 1. So this would mean GCD of p n is 1, and hence tau power p is a primitive nth root of unity. अब प्रिमिटिव nth रूट ऑफ यूनिटी है तो किसका रूट होगा? फाई n का. अब अगर phi n का रूट है तो because phi n x is fx into gx, this one, तो या तो fx का रूट होगा या gx का रूट होगा. So this means either f tau p is 0 or z tau p is 0. So what I want to claim that this possibility will never occur, right? This possibility will never occur. So my claim is uh, for any prime p not dividing n, basically f tau p is always 0. This is what my claim, right? Because once I establish this, using this, by repeated application of this, I can prove that f tau m is also 0 for any m relatively prime to n. And once it is, every primitive nth root of unity will be a root of fx, right? So this will give me the equality that phi nx is exactly equal to fx. And because fx is a irreducible polynomial over z, so phi nx will also be irreducible, right? So enough to establish the claim. Once it is done, proof is done. Okay. So suppose g tau p is 0. All right. So this means what? Tau is a root of gxp. Now fx is the mmp of tau. You have observed fx is the mmp of tau over the rational field, and gxp is one polynomial over rational field. Gx is a polynomial over q, right? So gxp is also, in fact, gx is a polynomial over z. So it's a polynomial over q, polynomial over q. So gxp is also polynomial over q, right? So fx is mmp and gxp is one polynomial satisfying tau. So this would mean fx will divide gxp. Where this division takes place, जिसके ऊपर mmp है, that means in qx. And yesterday you have seen कि if division takes place in qx तो zx में भी होगा, right? Is that fine? यहाँ पे देखा था ना आपने? Let me show you. This one. So fx, sorry, this one. Fx divides xn minus 1 in q. So it will divide in z2. यही तो था, क्योंकि इनर्ट आ गया था, राइट? दिस वन. बाद में ये u तो 1 ही आ गया था ना. इज दैट फाइन? ठीक है. ये आर्ग्यूमेंट लगेगा. आर यू गेटिंग द पॉइंट? जैसे यहाँ पे देखो, लुक एट दिस. xn is fx into f1x for some q. That means fx divides xn minus 1 in q. Then it is because it is inert in q, so you must have some unit, और ये u plus minus 1 ही होगा. u plus minus 1 होगा, that means ये division will take place in zx2, right? So fx divides xn, any, I mean xn minus 1 in qx implies fx divide xn minus 1 in zx. So division अगर q में है तो division z में भी होगा. So fx divides gxp in zx. This is again because zx is inert in qx, और ये दोनों पॉलिनोमियल है zx के ऊपर. So this means gxp, you can write it as fx into some hx. This is for some hx in zx. All right. What you do? So you have this equation. Reduce this equation in modulo p, right? तो coefficients को आप reduce कर दो modulo p में. So that means you will get the equation over zp. So reduce this equation in modulo p, or over zp, same thing. All right. So when you reduce gxp over zp, that means you are working over a field of characteristic p. What should be, what you will get? Okay, let's say पहले suppose g bar xp, it is the polynomial in zp, so f bar x into h bar x. Now what is this g bar xp? Can I write this as g bar x whole power p? Remember, I am working over field of characteristic p. So over the field of characteristic p, a1 plus a2 plus an whole power p is a1p plus a2p plus anp. Any multiple of p is 0 over zp. Is that fine?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that means ke, I mean, in some extension of zp, f bar and g bar have a common root. कि जो रूट f bar का होगा वो basically g bar का भी होगा, right? So that means f bar x and g bar x have a common factor in some extension of zp. So if they are relatively prime in some extension of if they are not relatively prime in some extension of zp, they will not be relatively prime over zp2. Is that fine?
Yes, sir.
क्योंकि अगर जेड पी पे रिलेटिवली प्राइम हो गया तो फिर वो आप यूक्लिडियन एल्गोरिथम लगा के आपको मिल जाएगा कुछ एफ बार इंटू समथिंग क्यू एक्स प्लस जी बार इंटू समथिंग आर एक्स, दिस इज वन। बट ये इक्वेशन आपका जेड पी में होल्ड कर रहा है तो किसी भी एक्सटेंशन में होल्ड करेगा तो वहां भी होल्ड करेगा जहां पे कॉमन फैक्टर होगा, सो दैट विल गिव यू ए कॉन्ट्रडिक्शन। सो f bar and g bar cannot be relatively prime over ZP2. That is, they have a non-trivial common factor over ZP2. So that means what? F bar and G bar have a non-trivial common factor. Okay. Now F और G क्या थे? Go back. Phi n x is fx into gx, right? So reduce this into modulo p. So come back to phi n x. This fx into gx. So you can reduce into modulo p. So you have phi n bar x, f bar x into g bar x, and this is in zpx. All right. So now come back to this. F bar G bar have a non-trivial common factor over ZP, right? That means कि इन दोनों के पास कुछ कॉमन फैक्टर है। कॉमन फैक्टर है, that means phi n bar has a repeated root. Is that fine?
Yes, sir.
Has a repeated root. That is, phi n bar is not separable. But this is something wrong. This is wrong. Why it is so? Because GCD of, oh, just wait. Phi and bar is not separable, and the point is, I mean, phi and bar is a factor of xn minus 1. Is that fine? Just let me introduce one more step, then we'll come back. So, as xn minus 1, this is, phi n x into something. What is that? Product d divides n, d is strictly less than n, phi dx, right? So that means ये अगर separable नहीं है तो ये भी separable नहीं है, right? So we conclude that xn minus 1 is not separable over zp. ठीक है? This is something wrong क्योंकि ये separable तो मुझे immediately दिखता है. Why? Because you know the how to check separability, GCD of the polynomial xn minus 1 and its derivative. What is the derivative? Derivative is nx n minus 1. So the point is, as long as this term is non-zero, GCD will always be 1. ठीक है, अगर ये टर्म नॉन जीरो है तो GCD हमेशा 1 होगा. तो जीरो कब हो जाएगा? when p divides n. when this term will be 0 when p divides n. p हमने लिया हुआ है p do not divide n. p is a prime not dividing n. So that means this is 1, right, in ZPX. In fact, this is 1 for any field of characteristic relatively prime to n. So why this contradiction? This contradiction because you said that this one g tau p is 0. Is that fine? So that means what we have settled our claim. Thus f tau p is 0 and this is happening for any prime p not dividing n. Now with this information, what I want to conclude, f tau m is 0 for any m relatively prime to n. In fact, this will immediately give you f tau m is 0 for any m such that GCD of m and n is 1. Is it not? Because for suppose you take the prime factorization of m, so m you can write it as p1 dot p2 dot maybe some pk. ठीक है, हो सकता है I mean some of these prime may be same, doesn't matter. p1 may be equal to p2, doesn't matter. So now what is tau? Primitive nth root of unity, you know. तो tau p1 भी primitive nth root of unity है. See one thing, if this is the prime factorization of m and GCD of mn is 1, so pi cannot divide n for all I. Is that fine? Otherwise तो GCD 1 नहीं होगा. तो tau primitive nth root of unity है, तो tau p1 भी primitive nth root of unity है. Primitive nth root of unity है, तो this means कि f tau p1 is 0. Now ये पूरा आर्ग्यूमेंट tau p1 पे लगा दो. tau p1 क्या है? Primitive nth root of unity. तो tau p1 p2 क्या होगा? Because p2 also do not divides n. It's a primitive nth root of unity. You can apply the argument. So f tau p1 p2 is 0 and so on, right? So eventually you will get f tau m is 0. This is for every m GCD of which is relatively prime. Is that fine?
Yes, sir.
So that simply means every primitive nth root of unity will be a root of fx. Is a root of fx. And that simply means fx has to be phi n x. And because fx is an irreducible polynomial over z, so phi n x is irreducible over z. So this completes the proof. Is that fine? Anything from the proof, if in case you have any doubt? Okay, in case no doubt, one thing you note that because these phi and x, the nth cyclotomic polynomials, they are irreducible over z, they may be reducible over zp for some appropriate p. So this maybe you can add it as a remark. Phi n x may be reducible over zp. So when I'm saying phi n x over zp, what I mean is I mean reduce phi n x and modulo p, right? So over modulo p, that is reducible. So for to you, if in case you want to see example, one example is given in your textbook. You take n to be 12, p to be 11, and then you can compute that phi 12x is x4 minus x square plus 1. You can verify the calculation. Because 12 is not a big number, so you can mm, compute phi 12x successively. Okay, so phi 12x is this, and this you can write it as x square plus 1, its whole square. That means it's 2x square is coming here, so I have to subtract, so it's minus 3x square. Is that fine? And because I'm working over ZP, P is 11, so I'm working over Z11, so any multiple of 11 is 0. Any multiple of 11 is 0, so that means there is no harm if I can add any term that is a multiple of 11 up to as per my convenience. So 3x square minus 22x square. This last term is 0 over Z11. So I can write this is same as minus 25 x square, and this is same as x square minus 5x plus 1 x square plus 5x plus 1. और ये फैक्टराइजेशन दोनों फैक्टर्स F11 में है, Z11 में. See, conventionally, because actually in the next section we will see that uh, given any number, I mean we will basically in the next section we will characterize finite fields completely. So what we will see there, that any finite field will have number of element of the form p power n for some appropriate prime p and some appropriate natural number n, and then we will see that these are the only finite fields, right? So means for a given prime p and a given any natural number, for a given any prime p and given any natural number n of your choice, there is exactly one field of p to the power n elements up to isomorphism. That means any two fields of p to the power n elements are isomorphic to each other, right? That's what we will see in the next section. So whether you write Z11 or F11, actually in your textbook this notation is used, F11, to indicate that a field of 11 elements, right? So because given any number, there is exactly one field, finite field of that cardinality. So F, whether you write F11 or Z11, the same thing, right? So why I'm telling you now, because you may get this notation as well, F11 in the exam. So if this simply means you have a field with 11 elements. That's it. Okay. So is this all right?
Yes, sir.
Fine. So let me come to the next theorem. The Galois group of nth cyclotomic polynomial uh, over Q is isomorphic to Un. What is Un? The multiplicative group of units in Z mod Nz. So what are the units in Z mod Nz? So when I'm saying unit, I mean Z mod Nz is a ring, right? So in a ring, element is said to be unit if it admits its multiplicative inverse, right? So you collect all the elements in the ring Z mod Nz uh, who admits their multiplicative inverse in the ring itself, Z mod Nz. So that's what I'm calling UN, the multiplicative group of units in Z mod Nz. So what are the units in Z mod Nz anyway? Anyone?
Whose GCD with n is 1?
Right. So that means, I mean, any element m bar. So basically Z mod nz. So that means m bar plus, I mean, m bar means m plus nz. So m bar will be unit in Z mod nz if and only if GCD of m and n is 1. All right. So fine. So I don't know whether you have noticed or not, but let me elaborate this to you now. You have a polynomial, let's say fx, xn minus 1, right? And let's say another polynomial phi nx. Phi nx तो पता ही है आपको क्या होता है, I mean This is nth cyclotomic polynomial. Consider both polynomials over Qx, right? What will be the Galois group of both the polynomials? Okay, systematic जाते हैं. Instead of Galois group, first let's find what will be the minimal splitting field of both the polynomials. That means you are looking an extension of Q which contain all the roots of fx, and similarly you are looking for an extension of Q which contains all the roots of phi and x. Is that fine? So the point is, if rho is primitive nth root of unity, once you have a primitive nth root of unity, you will get all the roots of fx. Is that not?
Yes, sir.
Because 1 rho square up to rho power n minus 1, they are all the root set. And once you have a primitive nth root of unity, you will have all the roots of phi and x too. क्योंकि ये जो phi and x के जो रूट है वो इन्हीं में से कुछ रूट है. So the point is Q rho, I mean both the polynomials have the same minimal splitting field. Minimal splitting field of fx as well as phi and x over Q. तो मिनिमल स्प्लिटिंग फील्ड है तो नॉर्मल है, और कैरेक्टरिस्टिक जीरो फील्ड के ऊपर काम कर रहे हैं तो सेपरेबल है. तो यू हैव ए नॉर्मल एंड सेपरेबल एक्सटेंशन. And hence Galois extension. Galois extension, so you can talk about the Galois group. This Galois group will be the Galois group of these polynomials. This we call as this Galois group we call as the Galois group of phi and x, and what is that? Other one is xn minus 1. Right? So the point is both the polynomials have the same Galois group. Is that fine? That's what I wanted to bring into your notice. Is that fine? Both the polynomials phi n x and xn minus 1 have the same Galois group. So when you are saying that Galois group of nth cyclotomic polynomial over Q is isomorphic to un, the same thing you can say with xn minus 1 as well. And this fact we will use in the 11th section. So you should remember this. Okay, so come to the proof now. So again, let's what you want to call, ऊपर क्या बोला हमने, रो. We can go with row. Primitive nth root of unity. So Galois group of phi n x will be the Galois group of q rho over q. Maybe you can add one more line that this q rho will be the minimal splitting field of phi n x over q. All right. So fine. So this group I want to show that it is isomorphic to UN. All right. So by the way, can you tell me the order of this group? Anyone? What will be the order of this group? ये किसके बराबर होता है? Let's say I mean E over K is a Galois extension. What is the order of the Galois group of E over K? Quite simple. जो Galois group है G, if E over K is the Galois extension, what is the field corresponding to G? Yes. I mean, there is one-to-one correspondence. That's what we have established between subgroups of Galois group and subfields of Galois extension. तो अगर सबग्रुप को पूरा पूरा G ले रहे हैं, then what is the field corresponding to G? Yes. Are you getting? You have not noticed this? What is the E over K Galois extension? G, the Galois group. So what is the order of G? Yes,
Sir, degree of E over K.
degree of E over K, because I mean exactly it is, because E be a field, G be a group of automorphism, fixed field is K. So you can use Artin theorem. Degree order of G is the degree of E over K, right? By Artin's theorem, uh, degree of E over K is G. So that's what it is. All right. So come back to this. So this will be the degree of Q rho over Q. Now the point is, what is this degree? Because this Q rho is a minimal splitting field of phi n x, phi n x over Q, and phi n x we have settled that it is a irreducible polynomial, right? So this degree will be the degree of phi n x. And what is the degree of phi n x? Yes, phi n.
Phi n.
तो गलवा ग्रुप का ऑर्डर phi n है, and you already know that the order of un is also phi n. As someone said कि un में elements कौन से हैं? Precisely those which are relatively prime to n, right? Okay. So what I'm looking for the isomorphism. So what you do, suppose, so basically ये गलवा ग्रुप है क्या? इसमें क्या है? Galois group is the set of all Q automorphisms on Q row, right? So that means I am looking all Q automorphisms from Q on Q row, right? So to determine an automorphism on Q row, because Q row is generated by rho over Q, और जो ऑटोमॉर्फिज्म है वो Q के एलिमेंट्स को तो फिक्स करेगी, राइट? तो NF to determine its image at rho. Is that fine? Let's say maybe what you want to call, let's say sigma you have in the Galois group, Q rho over Q. That is sigma from Q rho to Q rho. It's a Q automorphism. तो टू डिटरमिन सिग्मा, क्योंकि Q के एलिमेंट्स तो फिक्स है, and have to find the image of sigma at rho, right? Now what should be sigma rho? What should be sigma rho? ऑटोमॉर्फिज्म है तो ऑर्डर प्रिजर्व करता है, मल्टीप्लिकेटिव ऑर्डर. इज दैट फाइन? यू नो दिस?
Yes, sir.
So that means as order of rho is n, we have order of sigma rho is also n. तो सिग्मा रो अगर n है तो what's the possibility you have? Sigma rho will be some power I. This is for some I which is relatively prime to n. These are the only primitive, I mean sigma rho is n, that means sigma rho is primitive nth root of unity. So if rho is a primitive nth root of unity, what are all the roots? Precisely rho power I for some I relatively prime to n. Is that fine? तो अब मुझे पता है कि अगर sigma is a Q automorphism, then sigma rho is precisely rho power I for some I which is relatively prime to n. ठीक है? तो बेसिकली ये I अगर relatively prime to n है तो I बार कहाँ पर है? UN में. So now I can define the map. तो बेसिकली आप इसको I mean I hope it's all right whether you write I or I bar. It's, I hope it is understood to you. Is that fine? और अगर कुछ कंफ्यूजन है, बिकॉज आई मीन मॉडलो n में काम कर रहे हैं, तो आप इसको I बार लिख सकते हो इफ यू हैव एनी कंफ्यूजन. तो ये I कहाँ पर है? I नोटेशन कौन सा है मेरा? Simplest notation means where I is in 1 to n minus 1, and is such that it is relatively prime to n. Is that fine? ठीक है? Any doubt? Okay. So now you can verify easily that the psi is a group home. Psi is a group home. You can verify easily. For suppose, let's say psi of what you want to call sigma 1, maybe let's say I1, psi of sigma 2, let's say I2. That means sigma 1 rho power I1, sigma 2 this is rho power I2. So I1 I2 पे वो सारा राइडर्स है, राइट, कि ये जो I1 I2 है, आई मीन ऐसा करो, इस पे ये कर दो बार, ये I1 I2 है, ऑल राइट. I1 I2 पे ये राइडर है, दे आर in 1 to n minus 1. So what should be sigma 1 composed with sigma 2 of rho? This is sigma 1, sigma 2 rho means rho power I2. This is rho power I2 and then whole power I1. This is rho power I1 I2. This means psi of sigma 1 2 is I1 I2, which is same as psi of sigma 1 psi of sigma 2. Is that not fine? And clearly it is onto, is it not? We may define sigma from q rho to q rho a q automorphism. लिखने की जरूरत नहीं है, sigma fixes the elements of q because every field automorphism has to fix the elements of q, is a q automorphism. So sigma will be the required element. Psi of sigma is I. So that means I bar. So that means you have psi is onto. Now you have a onto group home from one group to another group, and both the groups have the same order. Because just you have seen गलवा ग्रुप का ऑर्डर है phi of n, un का ऑर्डर है phi of n, तो 1 1 हो जाएगा. Psi is onto as well. So this completes the proof. If you have any doubt, feel free to ask me. Yes? Okay. In case no doubt, I'm leaving now.